So hello, everybody. That was great. It really makes you think about mindset and your goals in life. Hello, everyone. I'm doing well. Awesome. This is Coach K, guys. I'm the Millionaire Mindset Coach. Thank you for coming today. It is the focus training. If you know of somebody that should be here or you would want to be here, I want you to go out and get them. We're going to be here for, just about 20 minutes today. We've got another call that's going on with a group of my leaders, as well as I am doing the 9 o'clock call tonight. So, we're going to have an abbreviated version of focus. We did not cancel it because it's way too important, and Kim can tell you, I don't get caught up in numbers in that way. There have been times when I have gotten on calls that I've scheduled, and I'm literally the only one on the call. And I teach the call anyway. I record it, I teach it like there's 1,000 people on there. Why? Because you can't do things in your life that's recorded or wrapped up around rather this person or that person is going to support you, because people will support you today and not support you tomorrow. Does that mean your business stops? Absolutely not. Does that mean that you shouldn't keep going? It absolutely doesn't mean that, because what you're doing is you're sending out the message to individuals that you can't run your business without them. And that's crazy. Attrition and, let me tell you something. Business is a funny thing. People follow the next shiny thing. And what they don't understand is that the next shiny thing is moving because the next shiny thing always moves. Meaning it's always moving around. It's always jumping from this thing to that thing. And, it just has a hard time focusing or committing to anything. I am committed. I'm committed to my business doing well. I'm committed to growing. So that means that I'm committed whether people show up or not. I literally have been on calls where it has just been me, and I push record and I record that thing like it's 1,000 people on the call, because I am committed to me if I'm not committed to anything else. And you got to get to that place when you have that person that's told you, I'm going to follow you to the ends of the earth. And that was just until you did your own business. Now they're nowhere to be found, or they're afraid to answer your calls because they think you're going to ask them to join your new thing. You've got to make a decision. And the decision is this: no matter who comes or who goes, I'm going. No matter who connects with me. And I'm going to tell you something else. You are probably going to get more support from people you have no idea of who they are. I'm talking strangers will meet you in this business and become closer to you than some people have been in your entire life. That's just how it goes. Hi, Denise. How you doing, sweetheart? Hello, Daphne. Hey, Shavana. Hi, Misty. Hi, Kamoria. Hi, Terry. Hi, Latawana. Hi, Libra. Congratulations on your new promotion. Excited to have you, in the ranks. You're quite welcome. I am working with Building an Empire. This is the book. I think people went on social media. They went to Amazon to get it and it was sold out, but get you a used copy, do whatever you have to do, because this is really good as far as growing your business.
Yeah, Coach K, I ordered my book last month and I just got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I am going to be starting, and I'm just going to, I just flip through. I'm going slow for a reason. I am going slow because some people didn't get their book, so I'm not rushing through it. Great, Denise. All right. So, I'm on Lord, I'm in the Bible. I'm still on the introduction. I'm on page 25. And I'm looking at the second paragraph. And for those of you who don't have your book, no worries. We're going to talk through it. It says, why should you decide to build a network marketing business? It says, in today's times, people are beginning to realize that jobs are not going to give us the lifestyle many of us desire, I'll say, and deserve. The company's going to pay you just enough to get the maximum value out of you for your paycheck. And often the employee will work just hard enough not to lose the job of a guaranteed income. So what does that mean to me? What that means to me is simply this: jobs teach you how to be mediocre. That's why when you come into things like this, you don't know how to be extra. You don't know how to go the extra mile because they know that 9 times out of 10, you don't like what you're doing. You don't like who you're working with. And you know you're not going to get promoted, so you feel stuck. And anytime you feel stuck, you don't give your best because you know that it is to no avail. So jobs literally teach you how to come in, get in the middle of the pack, or even at the bottom and just stay there. So when you're in something that is motivational and educational, things that you have to keep moving, things that you got to keep adding to, you get frustrated because when you're working a job, once you have gone through your training and you know what to do, you can basically do it with your eyes closed. They just haven't figured out how to replace you with AI yet. What on page 26, it says, the end of 25 and 26, it says the last sentence, the mental turning point will happen for many people when they recognize that their situation will not improve itself. People who are looking for what we're doing are individuals who know that I've done everything that I can do where I'm at. It's not getting better. If I continue to do the same thing, I'm going to get the same results. So I've got to change. Now, you have to allow a busy person who already has a career to start a part-time business to supplement their finances. It's just not finances, guys. Some people are doing this because they want to help. Some people are doing this for the community, but yes, a great deal of us are doing it for the finances because it's something that we need. Says the network marketer wins because the company pays a significant income to the middleman. But the key is the networker has pride of business ownership. The hiring, training, motivating, and selling are driven in the field by many network marketing business builders building their own fortunes. Instead, the earning power being coddled by the select few CEOs and the company owners is distributed out to those who truly bring the value to the marketplace. The more value you deliver, the more money you earn. Bring no value, earn no money. You got to ask yourself, how am I bringing value? I gave you guys an idea to do something last week, and that was to reach out to people who are on your team. Who did that? Remember, I said, reach out to the people on your team. And Denise, what did I tell you to ask them? You're on mute, baby. You're on mute. But I'm feeling it.
What can I do to help you build your business? You know,
and did you get some
and how
responses?
are they doing? Well, I have new people on my team too. So just kind of helping them with different scripts, directing them to, you know, the launch document. Just trying to figure out how can I help them? What are your goals? Like yesterday there were two people that I did speak to, and I asked them, what are their goals for this month? What do you want to achieve? How can I help you?
So what you did was what they're talking about in this book on page 27. You leveraged yourself into freedom by inviting others to build their own fortunes part-time with you, not for you. And that's what's important. We all have goals and values and dreams and aspirations, but when people come into these businesses, it's not about you. It's about what they can do to get what they need to pay what they need to pay to satisfy what they want satisfied. So when you went to that person and said, hey, my name is Denise, I'm your upline, I'm here to support you, what you're telling them is that they are really not in this thing by themselves. And sometimes that's all people need. They just need to know that I'm not left alone. You got a great deal of individuals that never go past advocate, and it is because they don't think they can. Like he was saying in the video today, whatever you see you want, you can have. Whatever goals you want to reach, if you believe and you do the work. A lot of people just want to just will it towards them. And yes, you can do that, but there's still some other things that have to be done. The very idea of making, I'm on 27, the very idea of making a mindset shift to becoming an entrepreneur is scary to them. They fear failing, so they will not even try. Or you can let people continue on as they wish and stay focused on making the shift yourself and attracting wealth into your life. Everybody not gonna go. Just understand that if you don't have a next mentality, you're going to always be wounded. You're going to always be hurt when people you think should say yes should say no. Don't make that determination. Let them make it for themselves, and then you're not going to be disappointed. but it's not your job to worry about their family's finances. If they're not worried about it, then you shouldn't concern yourself with trying to help them. Everyone has a freedom choice. Don't listen to those who don't have what you want. When you buy someone's opinion, you buy their lifestyle. So if you got a person that you're talking to this business and they're talking about, oh, this is a scam, or this is not right, or, one thing or the other, then they're making a whole bunch of excuses. And if you want to continue to make excuses like that, have you ever met somebody every time they open their mouth, an excuse roll out
Yeah.
about anything?
Yeah.
It could be anything. They always can tell you why they can't do whatever it is they need to do to make them better. But anything that gets them in a situation they don't need to be in, or a situation wherein they are hurting themselves financially, mentally, emotionally, then they're all for it. But when you say, wait a minute, this thing can help you, then they want to be skeptics. Then they want to be critics. They want to tell you why you shouldn't do everything in the world you should do. But are they giving you an example about how to do something better? Absolutely not, because they have been professional complainers, people who don't want, to move at all. I can tell you right now that you are in this for a reason. You're here right now for a reason, because I've worked in a lot of these companies, and to be in a company at this period of time is usually reserved for the upper crust. What do you mean by that? I mean that when businesses like this open, the first thing that happens is the owners usually go out to people who have a proven track record. So when they come in, they're already, at the very, very top, and it's very, very difficult to come in and make any headway. But in this particular business model, this is not something where everybody else bills and you eat. Everybody, no matter where you sit in this comp plan, you got to work. So you got to make up in your mind, are you going to work no matter what, or are you going to let everything and anything stop you? Are you going to allow analysis paralysis? I don't understand everything. And I had one guy tell me today, because I made that call too. I didn't tell you guys to call people, and I didn't call people. I called a lot of my upline leaders today, the leaders that are in my business that have, promoted and done some things. I wanted to introduce myself to them, so I did a lot of that today. But I talked to one gentleman, and he was like, "Well, I'm a man of God, and I believe that I've got to, operate with excellence. So I haven't really done a lot yet, because I want to make sure this, and this is done." Let me explain to you. Can anybody raise their virtual hand and tell me that when you got on the job that you are working right now, that everything was perfected, every process was done, every procedure was done, every single training device that you needed was working, all of the technology was working day one? Can anybody say that? Or did they have to do some tweaking? Did they have to do some upgrading? Did they have to do some changing? I'm going to tell you what I believe. I believe that people had to do some adjusting. I believe that people had to do some training. I believe that everything wasn't perfect. So we come into a business like this, and when things are not perfect, we want to use that as an excuse. But if you use that excuse, can you get everything that you want, like ET was talking about? Let's talk about the power of combining leverage with residual income. This man joined the company, and the first 3.5 years, he was in learning mode. You can overcome the 3.5 years, and you're doing that by doing exactly what you're doing, and that is coming to valuable meetings. I was on a meeting, and let me tell you guys, and I want you to spread this through your team. I was on the MLO call today with Stephanie Washington, and their excuses are the tools of the weak and the incompetent used to build monuments of nothingness. Those who operate in them seldom operate in anything. I think I remember learning that. Kim, this is a mantra in a lot of D9 organizations use it. Excuses are the tools of the weak and the incompetent used to build monuments of nothingness. Those who excel in them seldom excel in anything but excuses. That is absolutely correct, Kim. Thank you for sharing that with us. we are at a pivotal point. When I was talking to the young man today, and he was talking about, he was a man of God and he had to have all these things. Man, I had to ask him, I said, well, can I ask you a question? Before God began to create, was the earth perfect? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, God had to create. He said, let there be, and there was, and let there be, and there was. And after he said, let there be, it was perfected, but it wasn't perfected before he put it into motion. So you got a lot of people who are saying, well, I'm not doing this because I don't have that. I don't have this. I'm not doing this because this isn't together and that isn't together. That's not what you do as a professional. As a professional, you go in the system and you figure out what you can do to make what's not great, great. That's what leaders do. Followers will complain about things not being perfect or perfected. When we were on the call today, she had some technical issues with Zoom and some things, but the young lady kept on training. She kept on training. And then we had, I know, about 20 people coming to the call 17 minutes late. And then they start blowing up all their leaders' phones, talking about they couldn't get into the call. Well, there were also a group of individuals that were on the call on time, meaning they were there 5 minutes early. So when the technical issues occurred, they were there early enough to know and to give grace because they knew that she was having technical issues. But if you were on that call today at 1 o'clock, you know that the call didn't stop. We improvised. The young lady that was trying to show her screen couldn't get her screen up because we were having issues with Zoom. I shared my screen so that picture could still be seen. When I got done, Stephanie and Chris, they kept training as if nothing happened. Everything in the background was wrong, but they kept going. Why? Because they knew that they did not have to have perfection to be perfect. Because the perfection was in the fact that they knew that they had people waiting on them, waiting for that information. And yes, they could have said, we're going to cancel the meeting today because we're having some technical issues. Nobody got time for that. When you have decided there are things that you want, then you overcome obstacles. We were on a call with our president, our co-founder and president the other day, and we were just talking about some things that were going on. And he said, listen, I eat obstacles for breakfast. I holler, Mr. Seeley, I eat obstacles for breakfast. You got to keep going, guys. You got to keep on pressing forward because you'll never reach the goal that you want to reach. It's just simple. He said, I now give, he can give the charities and all of this stuff because he kept going. What you have to do is go look at your why and think about the end of it, not the beginning. What do you want at the end of your why? If you stop now, you're not going to get there. You're not going to make it. So we are at the beginning of a new month, meaning whatever you didn't do in the last month, you can't go back and do it now, baby. They done turned the doggone machine off. They done turned the computer over. We're already on the next month. We need to look ahead and not worry about what happened. Congratulate individuals who have promoted. Make sure you let them know that you are happy for them and you got to move forward. Now you got another chance to hit whatever your goal is. But I want somebody to come off mute and tell me, with this being a new month, what specifically are you doing to hit the goal that you had set up to hit last month that you may not have hit? What are you doing different this month to hit that goal? Anybody, come off mute and let's talk about it. Anybody want to talk about your goal? Okay, well, let me tell you what I did today. I spent the day forecasting. What does that mean, Coach K? I printed out because I truly believe that you can't hit a goal if you don't know what it is. I printed out all of my compensation plan information, every bit of it. Broke it down, worked out some new strategies, got out my big calculator, the real big one. So I went, yes, ma'am, burnt the numbers up. You hear me? so I could see the numbers, so I wouldn't be, held up by numbers, because when I start calculating. And I just, came up with a brand new strategy to use with my team. Why? Because you got to evolve. You got to evolve. So I said, okay, there was a goal that I needed to reach last week or last month. I didn't reach it. What am I going to do to reach that goal this month? Well, I can't do the same thing I did last month. That would be insanity. So I had to change things up. Don't be afraid to change stuff. Don't be afraid to evolve. Don't be afraid to not do what everybody else is doing. Because what people are doing may be good for them, and it may be good for the group that they're working with, but it may not be good for you. You got to figure out what you're good at. You got to figure out where your strength is, and this is what you do. You start putting people on your team who are better in other areas. Don't be intimidated by somebody who knows something about something you don't, or know more about something that you don't. Because what you'll do is you'll have a team full of people that are just like you. And that means that now you have given up 75% of the population. That's when we're talking about those jewels and those personality types, people who, are go-getters, they're reds, they're visionaries. This is what it is. Let's go now. And then you got the greens who question, well, why are we going? When are we going? What's going to be there when we go? You need those people too. Then you have, you got the other personality that is, loving and benevolent. They want to give and they want to help. And everything is, I feel, because they're fillers, they're givers. And then you have the party patrol. They just really want to have fun, and whatever they're doing, they're going to turn it into fun. They're going to make it, hilarious. They have to be around high energy. You need all four types of people in your business. So if you are that staunch red personality like I am, and it's just numbers, we got to go, we got to hit this goal. If you are that person and you fill your organization up with people like you, your organization's going to crash, because you got too many chiefs, not enough Indians. You got too many people trying to run, trying to give the play, and not enough people who run the play. So then you got to get in greens. You got to get people who are analytical, like Daphne on the phone. She is very analytical because she's been working in aeronautics. She's a realtor. There are questions that she's got to ask that make sure she keeps her licensing in check. Once you understand that that's what people are and why they are the way they are, then you figure out, how can I use this personality in my business to help not just my business, but to help me? Individuals who are not like you will help you expand and grow. And that's what you need. You got to expand and you got to grow, and you can't be afraid to grow. I've been working lately on meditation and praying and, just getting myself centered and, just getting myself calm and making sure that I use my affirmations daily and seeing things from a different point of view. Because I am growing to the point where I've got so many people on my team. I've got to really think about who I'm dealing with and what I can do to serve them. So I've got to be in the right state of mind to do that. So things that used to upset me months ago, they don't. Stuff that I used to spend time, worrying about, I don't. Things that I used to try to explain, I don't. Running and chasing after money, I don't. I manifest it so that it will run and chase after me now. And I've got so much more peace, but I had to grow to that. I had to change my mindset. I can tell you, and I'm gonna have Kim come off the line, off mute. Kim, I want you to share with the people, because she was coaching me through this, believe it or not. She was literally coaching me through how to change my mindset. Kim, at that time, tell the people what it was like getting me to switch my mindset from a person who really created everything to a person who had to receive the creation and then use what was created. Are you choosing your words wisely?
It was a bit of a challenge. As with anyone, when you are accustomed to seeing things through one lens and operating in a particular way, for someone to tell you that, you don't have to chase it, you don't have to run after it, you can attract it and bring it to you. and then explaining to them the fact that all is mind. Everything that we need, everything that we desire, before it can become tangible, it first has to, it's first in your mind, and as you turn thoughts into things. So therefore you have to first get it in your mind, and you have to tell your mind what to think. And oftentimes the issue with telling your mind what to think is that we've listened so much to other people, and we've listened to society, and we've done all of those things, and so we've received all of that as our thoughts. So to be able to clear all of that out and to pull all of those other thoughts out and hear your own thoughts, because some of us haven't heard our own thoughts in so long, until we don't even know what they are. So to be able to dissect all of that and to detox your mind from what society has said, what your mama has said, what this person has said, what your coworkers have said, what circumstances have said, to be able to clear all of that out, and then to be positioned where you have a clear mind and you can put your own thoughts there. And then once you get that clearness of mind, then what happens is everything in the universe begins to align itself with what it is you are presenting to it, what you're giving it to work with. So I think that's pretty much where it is. So when you got to the point where you were giving the universe what you needed, what it needed to work with, to bring to you what it was you desired, and you began to see things move, and the struggle and the fight that was there before to make things happen, it just began to happen in a natural way. Then yeah, that was a turning point.
Well, yeah, it really started, and it started happening quickly when I gave in. And I realized, because I don't know if some of you don't know, but I went months without sleeping, months. And that's not an exaggeration. It was literally, I would go to bed at 4 and pop back up. And even when I went to bed at 4, I couldn't sleep until my body literally just had a point where it was like, I can't take any more. I've got to rest. And I think I ended up sleeping about 2 days straight. And I was still lethargic and tired for about another week. It was really bad, but I had put myself through it, because your mind running constantly is like you physically running on a treadmill. You got to give your mind time to relax. And I wasn't doing that. I was just really focused on the wrong things. And I can tell you, when I gave it over and I allowed things to happen much more organically, my peace came back. Because the truth of the matter, I didn't have any peace. So the learning curve is this. When you first start your business, I'm on 43 people. When you first start your business, your knowledge is low and your anxiety is likely high. This is not a very good mix, but it's expected. This is not a get rich quick scheme. It is not. This is a business, and it's going to take some time to learn it. Some people have come from product sales, so they think, I'm gonna give you this backpack of whatever, and I'm gonna get a $4 return on it. That's not what this is. But once you learn the skill set, you have it. You can shorten the curve by compressing the learning activity faster. Attending training classes is great. That's what you're doing. Is the ones that are given by some of your top earners. That's why I don't silo my teams. Even though I have a team page, I plug my team page into what? The corporate page, because that's the one place of truth. I don't sequester my people and say, you just listen to me and don't listen to any of the other trainers. Absolutely not. Or the leaders, because the leaders are getting the information directly from the president and CEO. So that's who I want to get information from. I don't want it watered down. So you can, again, shorten your learning curve by compressing the learning activity faster, attending more trainings. But listen to this, listening to conferences and CDs and, just all types of training. But all of this is going to help. Just remember this one thing. 1 hour in the field is worth 20 hours in the classroom. 1 hour in the field. So all of this classroom training that you're doing is great. Being on Stephanie's calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays, wonderful. But what's even better? What's even better is going out in the field, finding somebody that needs a loan, walking them through the 1003 application, getting the application put in from clear to close and getting that loan closed. That's where you want to spend a majority of your time. Am I telling you not to train? I own a training company. Training is vital, but training is preparation for what is to come. Training is not something that you just stay stagnant in and don't execute. Training isn't effective if it isn't executed on. So after coaching countless people at this point, the one thing is clear. People love to try to build businesses their own way. They come to the business with skill sets and strategies. I'm sure that we all did from previous jobs or previous organizations that pertain to completely different industries. And they try to apply them to this business model. This is often met with frustration, and they realize their ideas don't work so well here. I was one of these people too. Network marketing is a different animal in that what they were used to in corporate America and in management. Listen, in the new era and in the professional, leadership is far more important. This business is all about using tools, using systems, leveraging and helping and credibility through your third party upline expert and taking everything completely off of you. Again, this is the opposite of what many expect. Salespeople think they should come in and just go do it all by themselves. This may work for a little while, but it sure doesn't duplicate. And the business is all about duplication. So I know that in most jobs, we are responsible for certain things and we walk in and want to be a lone ranger. You come in here trying to be a lone ranger and you will wear yourself out and get to a point where you're frustrated enough to quit. Because this is not really built upon things. This is not the model that's built upon I'm gonna do it myself and I'm gonna increase my check myself. You should only go so far alone. And that's the truth. That means that guess what? Some of you introverts, you're gonna have to get out here and get to know some people. You're gonna have to work with individuals. You're gonna have to pick up the phone and not be afraid to call. Think what we figured out just working is that people work better for themselves, better for other people than they do themselves. If I were to tell you, pick up, make a phone call, let's go ahead and do this one-on-one, let's call somebody and ask them about the business, you probably would not want to do that. But if I said, hey, let's get into groups of people, you call on the behalf of me and say that you're my assistant, you're working with me and you're just checking to follow up. You probably call right then and there because it takes the pressure off you because it's not you. If that's how you operate, then you find an accountability partner and you guys start doing each other's follow-up calls. Have a list of 10 or 20 and one of you do 10 and the other do 10. Hi, I'm calling on behalf of Coach K. She wanted me to follow up with you to see how things are doing. It takes a lot of pressure off. Whatever you got to do to get the job done, to build your confidence up, you do that. He says over time, things can be learned. The more you are in activity mode out there, talking to prospects and recruiting, selling, the more your skills will be honed. 90% of the businesses will not be learned by reading and in a training manual. Certainly the reading must happen, but it will not make such sense until you are out there in the marketplace experiencing it firsthand. He says he calls it falling forward. I eventually loved messing up because I learned from it every single time. I didn't connect with the prospect properly. I examined the conversation and I asked, what could I have said or not said that may have been better? What might have I done differently to get him to take one more step? The business and in the business and help him on the path towards success. So let me tell you something. Stop getting on yourself. Usually, and this is why you got to deprogram yourself. Because if you're at work and you mess up, you messed up. And it's just like, oh my God, I messed up, I messed this up, and I don't want to fail. Adults don't like to fail. But if you look at it as a learning experience, I always look at it as a quiz and not a test. So when I'm working with individuals and I error, I feel like, okay, that was the quiz. Now on this next person, this is the test. I got to get it right this time. I'm going to get it right this time, but I have to evaluate what I did wrong. You're not going to come in and learn something brand new and be perfect at it all the time. You get better and better and better as you go. So before we get ready to close out, if anybody have anything in particular that you are dealing with walking into this new season, I can tell you right now, if you're not keeping a tracker, you're messing up. If you don't know who you're talking to and when you got to get back in touch with them, you are messing up. When I started keeping a tracker, my numbers began to double. Do you understand what I'm saying? That means that if you're putting in 5 people a week, now you're putting in 10 people a week. That makes a big difference in your check. So keep a tracker. I don't care if you got a notebook and you just got to write a name down and put a date of follow-up. I don't care what your method is, keep a tracker. So who has a question? Anybody want to raise your hand if you've got a question about going into this new season, setting goals, whatever it is you need to do, because we always want to get the answers on the last week of the month. Let's do different. Let's do better at the beginning of the month so we can carry that in to the end of the month. Any questions? Any comments? I want to open up the door for Dr. Tangela Collins-Myers. Is there any wisdom that you want to share with the individuals that are on the call today? She may or may not be available. Okay, I don't think she's available at this time. But guys, thank you so very much for coming. I'm going to go ahead and close the call out for today. I'm sorry about the link not being right. I will make sure that that is correct for next week, because we're not going to stop focus training. It is going to continue to go on because, as ET said, we can have what we say. So at this time, you all can release the call. Hi, Tamara. It's so great meeting you and your king this weekend. Tell him I said hello, and I look forward to speaking to him again. So yes, guys,